Good. Maybe more can I can.
Manager,
No, my computer was muted. I didn't know, but we are live actually. So I'm just gonna put a background sound a little bit, then we can start in like 2 minutes.
okay.
Excuse me. Hello, everybody. Wherever you're following us from, wherever you watch us from, it's with me, um, the host of the Dialectic Space podcast. My name is Ibrahim Asonko, and I bring Gambians to you. And non Gambians, I like to talk to you about their journey, their life, and their profession as well, in hope that we can put them in the spotlight, but also to highlight the important work that they do in the various areas of work that they're involved with. And today, I have the honor and privilege to have with me my very good brother, Sheriff Jarju, who is a Gambian and also a FIFA licensed sports agent based here in Washington State, Everett to be very specific. And I wanted to bring him on today to talk to him about his life, who Silvo is, what inspires him to venture into this line of work, but also to talk about a very important professional arena that not a lot of people are involved with, to have an idea of what it takes to be a football agent in this line or in this environment, especially coming from a Gambian community where we don't have a lot of those. So I welcome all of you, all of our followers with us. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to support what we're doing. That's the only way you can continue to support this project, this initiative, and also, like and continue to share our all of our content that we keep putting online. Because at the end of the day, that's how we're also encouraged to keep doing what we do. So let's keep engaging, let's keep communicating as well. So we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube, we're on Instagram, we are also on Facebook. And so we have various platforms where you can continue to interact and engage and be the first to know what we're doing or who we're talking to. Really, the most important place for you to subscribe to is on YouTube. So please go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube account. So getting into it, I'll let my guest, Sirifo, introduce himself to all of you here today. Sirifo, welcome to the Dialectic Space podcast.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ibrahim, for this wonderful opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here today. And then, as you rightly said, many people know me as Sirifo, but the actual name is Serif Muhammad Lamin Jarju. So I will tell you how the name Sirifo came. Actually, it's from my late grandmother, Joma Sao, who passed this year, last Ramadan. May her soul rest in perfect peace. So she likes to call me Sirifo, Sirifo, but Sirifo. Then from there, people get to know me as Sirifo. And even with my primary school all the way to my high school, Sirifo has been on my document, but then later on, I changed it to my actual name. So many people don't know the name Sirif Muhammad Lamin Jaja, so people call me Sirifo. But yeah, thank you so much for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here. And then, yeah, let's get the ball rolling.
Uh, let's get to it. Thank you very much, Sheriff. So Gambians, all of us have nicknames. Ibrahima Ibrahim. People used to call me Fa Brahma. In fact, that is a traditional part of my house and family that still calls me Brahma. And I'm like, my name is Ibrahim or my name is Ibrahim, but I can never change that. But it's
Exactly.
also part of our identity, who we are as Gambians. Anyway, Sirif, talk to us a little bit about who you are, what part of Gambia you come from, and also, obviously, every kid from the Gambia loves soccer. We in America, we call it soccer. We're so used to calling it soccer. So excuse our, use of that term. We'll try to stick with football because that's what we know. But so talk to us about where you're from, your upbringing, your involvement with football, and at what point did it occur to you that you may even venture into this professionally?
Um, I'm originally from Sibanor, the best city in Foni. Yes, I don't call Sibanor as a village, but the best city in Foni. We are in the heart of Foni. I did my nursery school, elementary, then I moved to Alfakan, Brikama Upper Basic School. I
Oh
did my
wow.
yes, grade 7 there. And then I was ENC was my batchmate. I was the same class with ENC's elder brother. Then from there, I moved to St. Teresa's Upper Basic School. I did my grade 8, grade 9. Then my grade 8, 10, I did it at Gambia Senior Secondary School, Gambia High. Then from there, I did AAT, Association of Accounting Technician with Management Development Institute, MDI. And I was an accounts assist with Sunset Beach Hotel for like about 2 years. Then moved to GAM Savings, which is a financial institute under GAMSTAR. Then from there, fast forward, I saw myself with BSIC Bank as a banker. Then from there, I proceeded to Taiwan. That's where I did my undergrad. I studied in Taiwan for 3 good years. I spent 1 year in Alabama with University of North Alabama as an exchange student. After finishing that, I went back to Taiwan, then graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration, then applied for a scholarship, then moved to Idaho, Boise State University with a full scholarship as a student and also as a graduate assistant. Studied my master's in business administration, MBA. Everything was paid for me, nothing absolutely on my pocket. Yes. After finishing that, then I decided to establish a family here. I fall in love with football since I was a kid. And then when I moved to Larikunda German, that's where I mean back home in Sibanor, I used to support a team called Tony Tigers. It was one of the best teams in Sibanor. Then fast forward, I moved to Larikunda German 99 2000 for my grade 7. Then my area, Larikunda German, we used to have one of the best Navetan team in Serekunda West Zone. It's called Wayabi.
Mhm.
We used to beat all these big teams. So being a big fan of Wayabi, supporting Wayabi, then to the time Wayabi died and the other teams came, then we formed our own team at Larikunda German called Konbi.
Konbi, I
So
know Konbi.
so Konbi actually is the springboard where I fell in love with football to an extent that I was part of the management of that Konbi. We used to organize Jaliba Kuyate. I was working at the bank, and at the same time, I was the finance director of Konbi.
Hmm.
So we support Konbi, and we organize programs. I will do all the invitations. I will do all the posters because I was working in the office, so printing was free for me.
Hmm.
So my guys will come to me. We do used to have Pisces, DJ Pisces used to give us free show. What I mean by free show, we'll organize shows with Pisces. He will do the advertisements at the radio, and we'll have a show with him. We don't pay him anything. We just pay the hall. Then we split the money 50-50.
Hmm.
My last event with before moving to Taiwan, we organized Jaliba Kuyate. That night we scored $30,000.
Wow.
That night alone, yes. At that time, around that area, Larikunda Jawan, people used to call us just to have event with them because of our fans club. And the team was winning. Even though we didn't win any trophy, but we have that entourage, you
Fanfare.
know, fanfare. A lot
Yes.
of girls, boys who play football, they like girls. So our fan club is full of girls. So we use that opportunity. We organize events with all these teams. From there, yeah, that's how I fell in love with football. Push supporting Conby, support until I traveled to outside Gambia for my bachelor's in Taiwan. Then fast forward to the United States, I decided to venture into agency and agent job. It started in America, though.
But you also have a master's degree in business administration.
Yes.
Yes. And I mean, well, it's not a huge shift, but it's also a shift, right? We all know the transition, how hard it is before you can find your fit when you move from Gambia to the United States. And thankfully, you're fortunate enough once you got here, you got scholarships and went to school, and then, eventually to Washington State, started a family. And talk to us a little bit about your professional, what sort of work when you came in, were you involved in, and also at what level in that transition did you decide that I'm going to really start looking into sport agency?
So when I graduated from Boise State University, it was in the heart of the pandemic. I started my MBA 2018, graduated 2020. We didn't have our graduation ceremony. We did it virtually. Then fast forward, I moved from Idaho to Seattle to be with my wife. Then I didn't have job. It was crazy. So I started doing some, small jobs. So what actually triggered me to start venturing into sports agency was during the AFCON, the first AFCON that Gambia qualified to in Cameroon,
Hmm.
the 2021 AFCON. So I was just sitting watching the Gambia game. I was like, okay, look at these kids. They are playing. They went all the way to the quarterfinal. We lost to Cameroon. So I was saying to myself, what are we missing in the Gambia?
Yeah.
I was like, we have good footballers. We have referees. We have fanfare. Supporters are there. We have administrators, coaches. I start counting. How many agents do we have in the Gambia by then? I counted Modubi by then. I counted Kaba Sise. I don't know whether he's still active. Then I counted Yankuma Munte's agent. I was like, we are less than 5 agents. So let me just start looking into it. So I did my research. Then I came across Sports Management Worldwide, that is based in Portland. So I reached out to them that, hey, I wanted to apply for the agency job class. Then from there, yeah, I started doing my agency class. After 1 year, I'm done with them. Then I started to I reached out to American Soccer Federation because normally before you have to register with a soccer federation. Then they told me that um, FIFA is introducing an exam. Junior, what did you do? You want to be part of the interview? FIFA is trying to introduce an exam, and then let me wait for that. I'll say, yeah. Then that's how everything kickstarted. Though it started here in the United States of America after watching Gambia play in the AFCON.
So the business is registered in the United States of America. I'm supposing it's also registered in the Gambia as well.
No,
No,
we
okay.
are not registered in Gambia. We are only registered in the United States of America, and then from there we will establish, and then we're gonna be in Gambia. But we have our partners in the Gambia who we work with. So those people are there. We are working with them. We have events with them. So basically, that's how we are working.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about the state of Gambian soccer, Gambian football, right? You're Gambian, I'm Gambian. In fact, I'm flashing my Gambian jersey today intentionally because this is a Gambian thing,
Exactly.
but there's a lot we can say about the state of our football and the sort of skills that we're presenting every day, right? Many years ago it was different. Now you see a lot of really bright young people that are coming out of Gambia, not only in Gambia but even here in the US, for example. You just see all these kids that just go wasted because there is not a system or institution of really finding and making best use of these talents as an enterprise. And so, what is the state of the skills, or sort of this enterprising talents that we are getting out of Gambia? Who is involved? How are we finding out these talents? How are we connecting them to the various agents? Like, what is happening with all of these talents that we're having from Gambia?
You know, Gambia is very small, but we have a lot of talented football players, and then the ecosystem of the Gambian football is just crazy. You have the fans, you have the players here, you have the coaches association, you have the agents who are also coming in, you have the football administrators. And then for us as agents, what we do and how do we help to springboard the football from 1 to 100 is by organizing scouting events, bringing in scouts, bringing in sporting directors, bringing in other agents and agencies to come and see the players, because it is very difficult to have clean, clear videos from the Gambia. The leak is it's not bad, but it's very difficult to have videos. I mean, if somebody tells me, "Hey, player X, Y, and Z are good," I'll be like, "Can I see a video before coming in to see them?" Sometimes you cannot even identify a player by looking at the video. You
Mhm.
understand? So it has to be also like the government has to help in terms of infrastructure with the Gambia Football Federation. There are monies that are meant for football development in the Gambia that is from FIFA. We all know about it. FIFA for 2.0, whatever the name is. FIFA has given hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's a millions of dollars. That should be going into a grassroots
Development.
development of football in the country. But the government and the FA, they need to work on that. They need to let us know where are those monies going, because we have not seen that money. The stadium, we all know, is there 5 years ago. Still, we cannot play at home match. For
Yeah.
that one, I blame the government for that. The stadium is not for FF. You understand? For GFF, it's for the Gambia government, in line with the sports ministry, to work towards building us a lot of infrastructural amenities for football in the country.
Mhm.
Gambians, we want for football. But for us as agencies, what we can do, that's what we are doing. We're bringing in the agents, and then we organizing scouting events. We're looking at players. Sometimes we have to pay agents, other scouts there, flight tickets, accommodation, food, everything. My first scouting event in the Gambia, I spent $15,000.
Wow.
Yes, people don't know how we fund this. And then they will see you move a player. They think that, oh wow, this guy is having money. They don't know how much we spend on that money, on that event. You understand? The first year I spent $15,000 on my first event. I brought in about 6 scouts from outside Gambia. I paid some of them. I paid their flight tickets.
Mhm.
I paid their hotel accommodation. I paid their feeding, local transportation. You understand? So at the end of the day, we don't know whether they're going to select even a single player. If they don't, so that money is gone zero.
Yeah.
But we believe in the talent in the country. That's why we bring them in. So this year also, I'm gonna bring in about 5 scouts. At least 4 of them have already completed. You understand? And then they have confirmed their tickets. They will come, and we're gonna be posting our date for the event. Yeah,
Is that happening before the end of the year or next year?
it's gonna happen before end of the year. It's gonna happen this month.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
end of
you're
this
getting
month
ready. You're
towards
getting
end of
ready to go back to Gambia then.
yes. So it's gonna be this month towards towards December, because we normally try to do it within the first 2 weeks of the league, because normally players are they have the energy, they are fresh, they are hunger, they have the hungry, the desire to push. You understand? So we would like to have that, and from there we can always go and watch the league game also.
What would you say are some of the biggest challenges you continue to face, if any, in this line of work in football agency? Again, I'm asking you this because I know this is a very novel area in Gambian football context, right? Because I'm not even sure we have to up to 20 or even 50 agents in the Gambia. We have a very tiny market because our population is small. Some of the most popular ones I know are Cholna Samba and you, and I think also Yankuba Mintes agent, I forgot his name.
Bakari Bojas
Yes,
and
Bakari. So yes,
yeah.
and I hope I can also have him at some point. But what are some of the biggest challenges you all continue to face, at least from your experience?
From my experience, Gambian players, everybody wants to go out to become professional. So we have a very small pool of talented players that we all are looking for. Like there is zeal among the players; they want to do good, but some of them, the entourage behind the players, is not helping them. Um, you will see a good player who is good, but instead of him pushing within his entourage, they'll be like, "Hey, they can be happy to have football. It's like Gambia be no footballer. Coach, whenever they fight, coach, I can't fight. You understand? Instead of telling that player, hey, focus on the game. If the coach does not play you today, go and play. Your time will come.
Mhm.
But one of the issues that we are facing as agents in the Gambia is infrastructure. If I want to have my scouting event in the Gambia, I will always struggle to find a football field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am thankful to Brikama Sports
Committee.
Association,
Mhm.
committee, whatever the name is. They are very, very, very helpful. The first year I partnered with Ali Batara Pulo and his Ballers for Life, the Youth Football League, for us to use Brikama Box Bar in partnership with Brikama Sports Association.
Mhm.
They help us to use the pitch, which was good. And then this year also we partner with them and also with Unique Global. No, not you. Sorry, Gambia Dutch Lions. They have a pitch at Faraba. We are partnering with them, and also we are partnering with what's the name of this agency? Jay-Z's agents, which is Rock Mason International. We are also partnering with them to have this scouted event. But all in all, the difficulty we face is infrastructure in the country. If we have to bring in those people to come and look at the players, another difficulty we face is players. The mindset of Gambian player has to change.
Mhm.
You understand? I will share a scenario with you. There was a player. I have an invitation for him to go to a trial to another country, but because of the people around him that surrounded him, they keep pushing the goalpost. Oh no, he's gonna go to England. He's gonna do this. He's gonna go this. He's gonna. They delay my invitation. I called the player. I was like, look, let me tell you one thing. I will come to Gambia. I will meet you there. You will not even go to England. I told him that it's not possible to springboard from Gambia to England. You have to pass somewhere. The
Yeah.
levels are different. You understand? Then I have another invitation for that the same player today. The invitation is there. Is there with me. I was supposed to go and apply visa for that player with another player. The same entourage call. We collected the passport of the player. We want to go and apply the visa this Thursday. They called me again. They was like, we are sorry, blah blah blah. We don't want the player has to go to Sweden. I was like, okay, it's fine. Good luck to the player. May he pass the trial in Sweden. But that's gonna be the end of me working with that player and that team because I don't want. I want honesty.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And do you, at that formative stage, if, for example, you see a potential and you're trying to connect this player to a team, is there a framework for engagement? Say, for example, if I want to hire you to buy my house, there's a contract of engagement, initial contract, for example, to say that if I'm working with you, that stops you, or in law we'll call it, stops you from working with another agent, for example, because as you explained, that's what it seems like to be happening. The player mindset is a problem, but also the influence of the community. But if I lock a player down whom I know has a potential, and most of these players don't really know what is good for them, so an agent is able to identify for you, hey, this is where you need to start. Because say, for example, a player like Minte just don't jump and went to England like that. It doesn't. You go start from somewhere and then you grow over time. So is there like a, do you usually say, okay, cool, if I'm going to work with you here, it is sign your contract to say that you're going to work with me and we're going to see this through, or it's just mostly informal communication on the phone and WhatsApp messages, or it depends?
Yeah. I mean, for me, Francis Gomez. Uh, Badarapulo was the first player who identified Francis to me, and he was like, he called me, was like, "Hey, I found a player for you." I was like, "I don't want to sign players if I don't have anything for them." So normally I don't sign any contract if I don't have anything concrete for a player,
Okay.
because I don't want them to blow my phone every 5-10 minutes. Because to become an agent of a player in Gambia, you have to sponsor the player, you have to be there financially, psychologically. You
To
know,
invest.
you have to be like a brother figure, a father figure. Whatever happens, you have to support the player, and to the extent you have to support the player's family. You understand? So
That's
sometimes
your investment, yes.
exactly, I'm so skeptical to sign contract with players. But what I normally do, if I see something very interesting, I'll take an example of my first player, Mamadou Jata, Sedu Tambajiro, who was assistant coach of Team Rider, reached out to me and sent me Yada's videos. When I check on it, I was like, yes, this is the player I think I can work with. I saw the talent in him the first day I saw his highlight. Normally, if I look at a highlight within 1 to 2 minutes, I know that yes, this player is good. So I reached out and said, I was like, hey, yes, I'll work with him. I'll find him a team. So that's how we started work. You understand? So if I am working with a player, I have something for you as a player. I'll tell you, hey, I have something for you. So what we do, I'll send you a contract called mandate.
Okay.
I will require you to sign a mandate with me if I have something for you on the table. Then if you sign that mandate, obviously I'm working with you full time. That mandate, when I sign with you, is only 1 year. But also I am flexible. In case I could not move that player to another level and another agent comes in and then be like, hey, I want to move the player, or reach out to the player. The player said, okay, I have an agent who has this deal. Send me the deal. I will see. Okay, I'll release the player from my mandate. I'm gonna be like, okay, you go. You are done. Go and work with that agent, because that agent is able to move you and I cannot. I'm not gonna hold on to you. That's how I work. You understand? But if I have something for you and then we are moving on and then things are happening, and then to an extent you went to this tryout and you pass, then it's a matter of you signing an agent representative contract with me, which is like a 2-year contract.
Mhm.
Then as we move on every year, I would like to renew that contract, because according to FIFA, agents cannot sign representative contract which is more than 2 years with football players. You
Okay.
can only sign 2 year, and you can renew every year if you want, or you can renew the last 6 months of the contract.
Mhm.
Yes. So that's how I work. I don't want to hold players if I cannot move you. If I have a contract with you and somebody comes in, I will negotiate with you. I'm gonna be like, okay, you go work with him or her, and then yeah, good luck to you.
How easy is it, or how cooperative is the working relationship between agents and Gambian football teams? Because I remember, I don't know if you know this player, but I used to be part of Brikama United. I did not play I only play preseason with them when I was playing in Brikama in those days. I didn't end up signing because I had to focus on school, so it didn't work out for me the way I would want. But we had a player, really good fullback. He went on to play for Gambia and also for Real de Banjul, Hamidu Bojang. There was a lot of rumors and story about him getting a contract to Turkey, but the team was asking a lot of money apparently, and the deal ended up not falling through. And you hear stories like this. I don't know how true this is, right, or how true some of these stories are. But I would like to pick your brain on that. How realistic are teams when you're like, okay, cool, is the family of a player or some coach sending you to say that, hey, this is a potential, you want to work with them, and teams make life impossible for you in terms of their demand for what you should pay to have access, or even create a contract with a particular player.
So it is happening. Football business is real. Some of these teams will come to Gambia, try to have players for free, and then try to scam some teams. But there are some genuine teams that will come and discuss with the agent. If you have a trustworthy agent and then who has the interest of the player and also the interest of the Gambian team, um, it's good that Gambian teams listen to agents, especially Gambian agents.
Mhm.
One scenario, Momodu Jata, when he was leaving Banjul United, Banjul United left him. He went for $0. And you normally put a sell-on clause, and there is something that is called solidarity fee, training compensation. So you can also waive training compensation, but the solidarity fee of 5%, you cannot waive it. And you can always put sell-on fees in there for the player and for the team. So what we did, Banjo United said, okay, we'll let him go for free. We'll waive the solidarity, we'll waive the training compensation. But when Jata moved from Sarajevo to Al Jazeera, obviously Banjo United is going to have a lot of money from that deal.
Yeah.
You know, so just take an example of Fatawa of Leicester City.
Hmm.
When Fatawa moved from Ghana, I think from Ghana to this place, Portugal, before Leicester, the team in Ghana let him go for free, but they told him that anytime he's going to sign a professional contract, we'll have 50% of it. The team in Ghana, I think they received almost 15 million out of Fatawa's deal.
Oh, wow.
You understand? So you have to think about tomorrow, not today.
Hmm.
Let's say a Gambian team is demanding 100,000 from, let's say, Abdul Aziz, who cannot even kick a ball, and that deal didn't go through. What about if you say, okay, let's allow Abdul Aziz to go for free, and we want to make sure that um, next time Abdul Aziz is moving from Ibrahim's team, we want 15%
Hmm.
of that transfer fee. And mind you, Abdul Aziz was training with that team in Gambia from the ages of, let's say, 12 all the way to 18 or 17.
Hmm.
So those years, every year they can calculate what is called solidarity fee according to FIFA. It's going to be 5% of the total transfer amount.
That's
That is kind of
significant. Yes.
money. That
Yes.
5% is different from the 15% that the team in the Gambia that they are requesting. Let's
Mhm.
say you sold Abdul Aziz of, like, let's say 500,000. The next step, 15% of 500,000. That's a lot of money.
It is.
Yeah. So why would you just impose like 100,000 or 50,000 or 200,000 on a team that Abdul Aziz is not yet that player? You understand? Why not just let him go for free and then you bank more on the
Yeah.
training compensation, solidarity fee, or future sell on fee? But sometimes when the player is good enough, you
Mhm.
have to put the figure there. Yeah, that one you have to.
Now, let's talk about the reward, right? And obviously, as an agent, you get to invest a lot of your time and resources in players who may or may not even cut deals out for you, right? But you see them, you make your professional assessment. You're like, yeah, I can work with this player, and you begin to invest on them, put your money on them, getting them soccer cleats, making videos about them, their YouTube videos, their branding, everything, right? So an agent gets to create that relationship with the player. But what's the incentive, for example? Is it significant? It's not significant. Is it worth even venturing into it if you're investing so much? If you're starting out, especially if you're starting, like you're within less than 2 3 years of, less than 5 years compared to people who have been there for so long, what is the reward like? You think it's really worth it?
I think one thing, whatever you are doing, you make sure you like what you are doing. If you want to be an agent just because of you want the money out of it, you will struggle and then you will end up losing hope. You just need to like it, love it, have passion. Then from there, the money will come. Let's take an example of me being in Sibano. Where would I get that $15,000 for my first event? And where am I going to be able to have the opportunities to have the visa, number one, with a Gambian passport? You understand? So these are all small factors that agents in Gambia or those who want to become agents, they need to think about it. Because as an agent, the most important thing for you is your network. If you have a good network and you have only one good player, the rest will be history for you.
Mhm.
When Bakari Boja was starting, he didn't, people don't know him. But with his one network with Odense in Denmark, he took Yankuba there. First, Yankuba didn't pass trial. He went back to Gambia. He convinced them again because they know him. They gave Yankuba a second chance. Yankuba played 1 or 2 seasons, springboard, Newcastle signed him. They loaned him to Feyenoord. Feyenoord from there, he killed that league. Bam. Where is he? Brighton. Today, we are here. Liverpool wants to sign him 100 million pounds.
Yeah, that's
So,
it.
you understand?
Yeah.
Let's think, so see, if he was in Gambia, how is he going to be able to convince those people through email? And how is he going to be able to have visa? You understand? My first networking to Denmark, I was in the United States. By then, I didn't have my passport. I applied for a visa. They gave me a second visa of 15 days. And when I came back, my second, I applied for a second visa, even with my green card. They reject my visa.
Wow.
Yes. So they were saying they don't know my motive for going to Denmark. So they rejected my visa. So they want me to apply. I said, no, I'm not going to apply. I'm not going to apply again. So the moment I have my pass, my US pass, it's easy for me.
Yeah.
I don't apply for visa. I just fly. I just buy my ticket and go left, right, center. So these are the things that people need to know. You are in Gambia, you want to be an agent, is good. But you need to know that, okay, I am doing it because I am passionate about football. I am passionate about being an agent. I am passionate about helping people to move from point A to point B. But if we are going to enter it because you see that, okay, Mino Raiola is the biggest agency earning 20 million, but do you know how and where did Raiola started first?
Yeah.
You don't know.
Yeah.
And are you able to sacrifice that little amount of money? You don't know. Because my players in the Gambia, most of them, sometimes I will send them at least $100, $50, just to help them to, enjoy. My players, I know that when I call them, I'm speaking to, hey, how are you? Good? No. There is somebody, when you texted me, hi, I will call, but I was like, hey, okay, hi, lady. It's gonna be like the Chagri money is finished. You have to send him money.
Yes.
Let me send him money. So these are the things like you have to invest. When Francis
Yeah.
was going to Denmark the first time, I spent almost $6,000 on him.
Oh
Eh,
wow.
six- yes. just to send him with his coach to go to Burkina Faso, look for visa, go back to Gambia, go back to Burkina, pick the passport from Gambia again. These are things that you have to invest. But we don't
Yeah.
have. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, if you are able to move a player from Gambia to, let's say, a league in Denmark or Serbia or Bosnia, if the player is hungry enough and is good enough, the player has a wider coverage now. The player is fighting, pushing to the next level. Then that's where the reward comes in. When the player moves to another stage, you understand? Let's say move to Saudi, Dubai, Premier League, La Liga, and other places. So that's the time you start to see something coming in.
So you hear a lot of these stories about just how Gambian stars, for example, when they go for trials in uh, places, like they don't pass. There are some really important things that most of the time our people miss, or they just don't really understand. They're not prepared, sort of, to succeed in sort of those environments when they go for trials. And a lot of players go for trials and they fail, and then they come back. Uh, is this really something that happens? Do you have any of those experiences so far, either directly or through other agents that where players are sent to places they go, they cannot pass these trials, or they either get homesick, for example? We used to hear that too. How true is some of these things?
It's true. So what I'm saying most of the time is mindset. For so far so good, all the players I send out on trial, they all pass. Yes. Last year, when my agents came to Gambia, they selected about 5 players, but we were able to move one. He's in grade 8. He went to Ukraine and try out. He passed. He was part of the first under 17. This under 17 passed. They dropped him, but he passed, and they offered him 5 years. He's just 15-year old. When he turns 18, he's going straight to that team in Ukraine. So
Wow.
what we do when he was going to Ukraine, we sent a player manager with him who was with him there, and then he helped him to settle down, encourage him. We check on with him, we train him before he goes there. What we did was we found a special trainer in the Gambia to work with him on skills that are needed. You understand? Because you are moving from point A to point Z. You understand? Gambia is point A. We want to go let's say 1, you want to go to 100. So you have to make sure you train the kids, their mindset. Hey, you are going to this place. This is your life. Think about your dad. Think about your mom. Think about your siblings. Think about yourself. When was the last time you were able to have $100 for yourself? When was the last time you were able to eat chicken or beef?
Mhm.
How soon do you want to elevate yourself from this poverty situation? When the player goes there, I'll call the player. I will talk to him. I will ask, how was the training? What did you do? How did you see yourself? What can you improve on? You understand? Then from there, we push. When the player started to, not to perform much, not to perform to the expectation, the team will call me. And I also call the team or the coaches of there, because they will help me to have the connection to talk to the coach. Hey, can you please tell me your honest opinion about the player? How is he doing? What is going on? Yes, the player is good. He did this one good. He did this one bad. Okay, that's fine. And I'll call the player. All the player within my agency, they have their specific entourage or management team that we will call the player on group call. We will talk to the player. Listen, Gambia, we have 2 million people. You are lucky enough to be one of the players who are going on trial. This is your opportunity. These people, they are not better than you.
Mhm.
They have the option. They have the opportunity. You is your time. Go and kill yourself on that field. What we can do, we will do it. It's your turn now to do your part. We make sure that psychologically we prepare them. Mentally, we prepare them. Physically, we prepare them. So when they go there, when they fail, it's on them. It's not on me. It's not on anybody. They blame themselves. You understand? So that helped a lot. Francis went to Horsens. He killed it. He went to the under 70. He killed it. They pushed him directly to under 19. He killed it. You understand?
Mhm.
Instantly, they sent us an offer. They were like, hey, we want to take him. Before they sent Michelin came, they want to sign. I was like, no. Horsens won him because they invited him. We cannot betray Horsens and send him to Michelin. You understand? Then Horsen came in, we negotiated, he signed a pre-contract. When he turns 18, he's going. That's why every 6 months, every month, he'll come to Gambia, he will train, he go back to Denmark. He just came back to Gambia and he played 2 games in their preseason for Sibanor. 2 games, he scored 3 goals, 1 assist. So we are pushing him, we are moving him, we are controlling him. He has a small entourage, me, Pulo, Francis Coach, and you have Dr. TK, Uncle Babu. We have this entourage that we kind of mold them into something that is very important. With
Hmm.
council is the same people. Baensa, Pulo, me, TK, Doctor, Uncle Babu. So we mold these kids. You understand? With Jata is me, Pulo, and you have let's say Tambajiro. We mold them. So Jata was my first player, and also Yankuba Jarju, who is in Sabia. He was in France. So that's what we do. So we have what we call captain, first captain, second captain, third captain. So sometimes we have this group called together, all the players. They advise each other and then try to help each other. But there are agencies, they send players and they fail. But that doesn't mean that player is not good enough. Maybe the player was not ready mentally, was not ready physically. But we as agents, we talk. Me and BI, we talk. Me and Bakari Bojang, we talk. You understand? Marcy and Mendy, we talk, So we give ideas, we ask questions why our players are not performing up to par. I think sometimes it's the mindset of the Gambian people. We try to change their mindset every day. You understand? So changing Gambian mindset is very easy. It's not easy. It's very difficult. But
Yeah.
we push, really, we push.
And I really like the fact that you have such a really strong group of people who are really passionate about not only soccer but youth development. Because we know for a fact that, a lot of these young people have the skills. They literally born with such an impressive skill to kick this ball, this very unique ball. But the attitude and the discipline and the leadership is not there. And so you need people who are invested in helping them to succeed in life, because a skill and a talent can only take you so far. What can really take you to over and beyond to that level of being starting your journey as a professional is your ability to withstand adversity. It's your ability to also understand that sometimes you don't only need your skills, but you also need luck, right? You also need a community of people that believe in you and want to hold you accountable when you do wrong, to tell you that no, this is not the way, this is the right way. So I'm really glad some of the names that you've mentioned are people that I know. They're wonderful human beings that are invested in helping these kids succeed, not only in soccer, but also in their life overall. Now, I just want to talk to you a little bit about, in terms of your work, you have FIFA license, which essentially means that you're a global football license agent, meaning you can do business and transact all around the world when it comes to talent acquisitions. Obviously, because of your proximity and your nationality as a Gambian, it's easier for you to recruit in Gambia, and because also there is a huge market in the Gambia as well, even though it's small, but we're producing talents. But are you also going beyond Gambia? Say, are you involved in Senegal? Are you involved in other African countries? We've seen your recent trip in, I think, Norway or elsewhere around the world, that you're making movements around. I think you're really establishing yourself. So talk to us about a little bit of your involvement beyond Gambia as well.
Um, Yes, I am also seeing other countries, places like Tanzania. I have partners in Tanzania, looking into Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal for sure. Yes, I have a couple of people who reach out. It's easier because before I was helping a Gambian player who was playing for Casa Sports before, young Abdullah Gassama, and then but it didn't go through. But he's having a decent career. That's fine. I am seeing beyond the borders of Gambia in terms of recruitment of players. Guinea-Bissau, I have my partners I'm working with. We're supposed to go to Guinea-Bissau because sometimes talent is everywhere.
Hmm.
You understand? Because of me being a Gambian, it's easier to help Gambians. Other countries that I mentioned, they have established agents and they have a lot of players outside their country, and then their national teams are doing good. But for me, I wanted to help Gambia, that little Gambia, to kind of like be on the same level with those countries. So that's why I focus more on Gambia for now to try to help and move. You understand? But based on that, yes, for sure we'll go beyond the borders of Gambia, and we're gonna do massive networking because the more networks we have, the better for us. It's easier that if you have like a huge network, they will be reaching out to, hey, I need this player profile. I need this player profile. Then it's easier for us to reach out to teams in the Gambia, be like, hey, okay, I have this request from this team. They need this profile. Send me what you get. Bam. When they send it to me, I'll review and see if I'm satisfied. I will send it to my partners. Be like, hey, okay, we have this and this and this. Today, there's a player that me and Badara are working on. We have an invitation for him, but he also his coach got 5 different invitations for that single player.
Wow.
Teams from Portugal, Benfica, Stormgrass, they all sent invitation to that particular player. So when I took to the coach, I was like, you know what? Go ahead, process that visa. Let's work on see how it's gonna work. You understand? So that's how it is. So we tend to advise them when invitation come, we'll be like, okay, let the player go and try his chance and then come back. If they offer a good contract, sign it. Don't wait for our invitation. Just go ahead. So for us, the idea is to protect the players' interests and also the interests of the teams in the Gambia. So if we can do this, yes, allow.
So when you're making a decision to work with players, right? What are the most important considerations that you're making besides obviously the highlights, which you said if you watch, you're pretty good at identifying whether you can, this player has the skills that you need as a basic to begin with, somewhere to start. But other considerations like say age of the player. We know for a fact that a lot of people are like nowadays, if you're 25, good luck with that in terms of finding a team, unless you're really, really good. A lot of people are looking at people as young as say 80 years old, 10 years old, 11, 12. And for example, in the United States here, soccer is growing, football is growing at an exponential rate, like especially the grassroots football development, they're investing a lot of money in it, even though it's different than Europe still. But what are the important considerations that you're looking at if, for example, there's a player who's going to, damn, I need an agent, and what are those things that like you focus on?
I think number one is to be talent, and then your talent should match your age. Number two, if you tick those boxes, talent and also age, what I look personally is your character, discipline, respect towards the game, towards your teammates, towards your coach, your setup as a family. I do my findings asking people who live around you, hey, how is this guy? What kind of people, what kind of human being is he or she? You understand? If they tell me, oh, he's disciplined, he's religious, because sometimes if you're religious, you tend to be disciplined. He's respectful towards his elders and stuff like that, and he takes his training seriously. That is what moves me to the next level. If I watch the video of a player, the player stands out, then I'll start to ask my like people I know. I'll start to ask them, "Can you tell me more about this player if you know the person?" Then we'll start to dig in to find more information about the player. You understand? So if all in all everything works out the way I see it, then I will start approaching the team or the player. But the age of players that I personally look at, based on what European teams are looking for, is going to be from the age of 15 to at least 19.
Wow.
Yes. European teams want to have these players at least 18 years old because, according to FIFA, you cannot sign a player that is not from Europe less than the age of 18. They want to safeguard the player because some of them human trafficking. That's why they brought in these laws that players who are not in the EU and stuff like that, you cannot sign them. Like players from South America, Asia, and stuff like that, you cannot sign. But there are loopholes that other teams will follow, but they need to be at least 18 so that they can sign. But most of the teams, they will sign a pre-contract with you when the player is 15, 16, 17, and 18, they move. That's what happened with Francis. That's what happened with Kausu. We have a pre-contract with them, with Hossens and with Ruh. The moment they turn 18, they are going straight. The contract will kick-start it. You understand? But if you have 20 years, I'm not saying you're not going to go, but it's going to be very difficult because this European team, they want to mold you when you are 18 years old to bring in their system into you, to prepare you before you turn 19. When you are 19, they expect you to play for their under 19. 19 year, 20 year, they expect you to break into the first team of their team. So, but if you are in Gambia 20 years, I'm not saying you're not going to move, but it's going to be difficult. If you are there 21 years, 22 years, you have to think about option B.
Do they falsify The allegations of age falsification. We know a 16, 17-year old in the West is different from a 16, 17-year old back home. Before, it used to be worse, like on the 17 side, maybe like 35 years old. We know this. I can't even believe we're having that conversation. But now it's different. Now you see a 16-year-old who is actually 16-year-old and is balling, right? But do you guys also still experience age falsification where you look at somebody who says they're 16 years, I mean, they're 16 years old. When you look at their face, you're like, yo, bro, I'm Gambian too. You can't do that with me. I know this.
It happened at, during one of the youth tournament. Pulo will just look at it and be like, no, Uncle Bao will be like, hey, yo, Ponkanga, you are more than this age you are saying you are. And then the person will not be part of the B4L league. So they are very serious with that B4L league. So our concern of age cheating has reduced a lot because of the B4L. That B4L league, they know that if you are 15, 16, obviously you should be a school going kid.
Hmm.
You understand? If you are not going to school, what are you doing at the age of 15, 16? You know?
Yeah.
So it has reduced a lot, to be honest to God, in the Gambia. Before it was like, oh, rampant everywhere. But right now, the people or the players who are saying that they are 15, I can tell you, yes, they are. Kausu is grade 8. He's still going to school. You understand? Francis just graduated, I think, last year or year before last. You understand? As I'm speaking to you, there are even universities, University of Dayton in Ohio.
Ohio. Hmm.
They reach out. They're looking for football players, soccer players who are good in academics and the same time in football. So we are working with Badara and then stuff like that, identifying one or two players and see how best we can move them to the United States also.
And can you emphasize that a little bit? Just the significance of, being serious about your academics and also, like playing football, for example. And that's an area of football that is growing also at a very fast pace because we understand that a lot of teams, now, say for example, you want to play soccer, but soccer did not work out. I'll take an example of myself. I love playing football. I've always wanted to be a football player, but I had to make a choice, like a lot of Gambians or a lot of Africans, between going to school and playing football because I knew I was not so good that I was going to break into professional. It's just not going to work out. So I stick with school because that's what I knew was going to help me out, right? But how important is kids back home who are watching or interested in doing this? What message are you going to send them in terms of having a good balance to not just to quit school totally, but to keep their school and also to keep playing football?
I think it's important for them to have plan B. I am proud of Mamadou Jata, my first player. After finishing school, he's still going to play, but he ventured and then he learned plumbing. He has a certificate in plumbing. So when things don't work out for him to become a professional player, he has something that he can bank on. So even Kausu, who's going to school, I've been telling him, I call his teacher at the school, and I talked to the teacher. I was like, hey, make sure that he's very serious with his education. You understand? It is important for players to know, especially those going to school, to move both of them simultaneously. People saying that football or kiliatale or football, living, you cannot do it with education. You can. In the United States of America, you can. If it's gonna cause the team to find a special teacher to help you, they would. We have options for kids to come to this country to go to university and then play in the college soccer tournament, NCWAA, and that will give you a full scholarship. If you are good enough, my friend, study hard, improve your football, we will come for you. You understand? As we are speaking right now, we identify one player. We are working on him to make sure that he's going to come here. If things go as planned, he will go to university. When I saw his grade 12 result, I was like, dang, this
It's
is
good.
you.
Yeah.
And I was like, woo. It surprises me that
Yeah.
somebody who's good in football or soccer in the Gambia will have a very good, grade 12 result. But at the end of the day, we are pushing very hard to make sure that he's here.
Yeah.
So if you're out there, you know that you are good in soccer or football, my friend, and you are going to school, grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10, 11, 12, make good use of it. Hold it with both hands. And me and my partners, we are starting to recruit from grade 7, the best players. We will help them to find study teachers, to help them to be on the right track and prepare them for college level in the United States.
Well, Sif, this has been absolutely interesting and very enlightening for me. As I get to learn a lot about your work. But we're reaching at to the hour mark now, and I was just going to ask you. Obviously, you have a career that is beyond just, football agency. But this is my second to last question before I ask you for the final one, which mostly is what keeps you going. But really, I really want to understand how do you balance this, like you are a master's in business administration major, you also are a professional, you have a lot of experience in terms of management here in the United States, and but sports is a whole new era that you are venturing into. How do you really do this? And what is your advice to a lot of young people who are still struggling to find their passion, to find what really works out for them? Because at the end of the day, there is also what you and I know very well, an issue of people just sticking to one area. And that's something that today's day and age tells you that it's okay to define your niche and stick with it, but it's also okay to branch out. There's a lot of market for opportunity. And if you're passionate about certain things, you should start like me. I've always wanted to do this, to talk to people, to hear about their stories. I didn't, obviously sometimes it takes a while to start it, but I know I've always wanted to do this, to sit down and have a chat with Gambians who are doing great stuff in their area. But to you, though, like, how do you balance this? And what's your advice to a lot of people who are out there still struggling to ask themselves whether they can, in fact, do different things that they're really passionate about?
I think one thing you need to know, first of all, in the United States is very difficult because the bills are there. Nobody's gonna pay the bills for you. You have to pay the bills. You have a family, you have a wife, you have kids, you have parents. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to find a second income stream. My wife and I, we were able to work on establishing an adult family home, so that is helping us a lot, paying the bills. You know, so now I don't need to stress out to find one or two, three jobs. Alhamdulillah, with her help. you know so that is helping a lot, and it's also giving me the option to work harder sometimes at night, especially at time differences. It kills, especially when I have to transfer a player. I will not sleep at night. Time differences, I would push, be on the phone. Sometimes she would be making fun of me. You spend more time on the Ibano sport than even with your family. It's like, well, the business is established now. You guys take care of the business, so I have to make sure that Ibano is there. You understand? You have to have a passion. At the end of the day, it is rewarding helping people. It is rewarding working your way out, but you have to have the passion of whatever you are doing. I think that is what is motivating me to move to the next level.
Well, what's your final advice, message? What's your call for hope in this very, difficult and interesting world that we live in today? With like a lot of, like family commitment alone in itself is a lot, but also walking through your professional work where you have to, like face a lot of an area of profession that is dominated mostly by a certain um, demographic different from us, right? And together with other considerations, both personal and professional, that you continue to face in your life, what really keeps you going? Why do you keep doing what you do?
I think it's all about the passion, the love what you do. If you love what you do, you will kill yourself for that. You understand? Back home, it's going to be difficult. Number one, because you need networks. Networks, they are not in Africa. Your networks are in Europe, Asia, in the Americas. That's where you want to go. That's where you want to take your players to. So emails, text messages work, but sometimes you have to be there physically so that they can know that, oh yes, this is the person behind the keyboard that I'm talking with. You understand? So this is something that is very important. Make sure you find a way to get those visas. If you don't have the visa, you cannot go outside to network. You can network before going, but it adds more weight if you go there and meet them facially and talk to them. That will help you a lot. So that is what I'm doing most of the time now, after networking with people. This guy. Okay, I'm done very soon.
It wants to be part of the interview.
So since now that I am not worried about visa transaction anymore, Alhamdulillah, I can easily buy my ticket and fly. So that is something that I am thankful to. But what keeps me going? It's the passion.
Mhm.
I am a sports person. It's either I'm at the gym or doing football business or soccer business. That's it. If you like it, put effort into it and push it. Yeah.
Shout out to Abby at home. Shout out to our boy also here. Shout out for keeping the fort, uh, you know, afloat while things are, obviously Sharif is out there doing his thing, because at the end of the day, it takes a community to build whatever investment or business that you have. So we really appreciate everybody that is involved in this process. Shout out to my boy too, Abdul Aziz, if you're watching. Like we giving a shout out to, and all of our audience who were here with us today. To enjoy this conversation that I have with Sirif. We really appreciate all of you. Sirif, thank you so much for really being here, for talking to me. I really appreciate you coming on, and I hope and I wish you all the best as you continue to do walk through this journey of being a sports agent. And really, I'm here, like whatever you need, just reach out anytime.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. We appreciate it. And then Gambia, we see you soon. We bring in more stars.
Thank you so much, Sirif. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.